Our sauce is set. Myron ain't perfect, but the good thing about today is I ain't got to clean it up. Myron Mixon here, the winningest man in barbecue. Today, we're gonna be doing ribs from start to finish, from the grill to the table. And the first thing we're gonna do is go out and light off our grill and show you how to stack that charcoal. One thing about a grill is you can cook hot and fast like grilling off steaks, but you can also smoke with it. That's what we've got to be able to do today with these ribs we're cooking. What we're gonna do is we're gonna bank the charcoal. What I mean by banking, we're gonna put it to one side. We're making it indirect. So the fire is gonna be to this one side, and we'll lay the ribs over here on the side where the fire's not. And we'll get an indirect rotation of heat and smoke going around the ribs and not overcook them. What I like to do, I just do the very top. I don't soak it all the way around. They said, Myron, isn't that gonna impermeate bad flavors onto the meat? It will not if you follow directions. And the directions are, when you light where the fluid's at, wait till it becomes white. That means the fluid's burn off. It's ready for it to burn straight down through. Then we put our meat on. So don't freak out about lighter fluid. It's a good source of fuel to get your coals started. Now, we're going back into our kitchen. We're gonna get our ribs ready, bring them out after the coals burn down a little bit, get started grilling. What we got here is basically a St. Louis spare rib. These are full spares that have been cut down where they took what you call the chink bone off. So the first thing we do, I always like to remove the membrane from the backside. I got a set of membrane removers right here. It does an awesome job, does a quick job. Always remember this, that your seasoning or rub does not stick to membrane or fat. Got to get that off on the exterior. We want that smoke to go in and out between the fingers of those ribs. It's not going to be able to do that with that membrane blocking that. Got a little bit of fat right here we want to get off. If you can't easily get it, leave it alone. If you got a great butcher, ask him to remove that membrane for you. Or you can buy this tool from me and do it at home. I prefer the second option. My background in barbecuing started at the age of 9 in my dad's takeout barbecue business, but I started competing in '96, and I was looking for new ways to add flavor to ribs. This is the one I came up with. The first ingredient is orange juice. I love the flavor of orange juice, but we're looking for the acid that's in the orange juice to help break down the proteins in the ribs to make them tender. Next thing we got is ginger ale. It's a flavor that really goes good, and it also helps break down the proteins of the ribs. We got Worcestershire sauce, salt, a packet of the dried ranch dressing. We're gonna take that and mix it up. Now, we're gonna lay our ribs in. Always lay it down, meat side down into the brine. The bone side here has got very little meat actually on it. It's just barely covering the bone. So we wanna make sure that meat gets submerged in it and it soaks up the flavor. All right, it's time to make up our rub, our seasoning to go on our ribs. I love sugar in my rubs, especially for smaller meats. When I mean smaller, thin, like for chicken thighs, individual pieces of chicken, and also for the ribs. We got our mustard powder, we got our chili powder, cumin, onion powder, garlic, black pepper, salt, got our cayenne. Just blend it up good. We're gonna take our ribs out of the brine. Want to say one thing about our marinade brine we got going on here. If you got a real meaty, thick rib, you're looking at about maybe a 2 to 4 hour brine. The ribs we got here, not so much. They're a great rib, they're just thin. About 2 hours is all you want to do. Another thing I would tell you, I always put my rub on right before it goes on the grill. Ribs need all the help they can get. They need all the moisture they can get. That's the very reason we're marinating, not just for flavor, but to add moisture. So add that seasoning at the very last so it doesn't allow that salt to draw the moisture back out. Just take your hands, and if you got a shaker and want to be a little more precise than me, have at it. What we do now is I press that rub in. Do not take it and actually rub it. If you do that, what happens is when you push like this, you're taking the rub from here and shifting it to the other side. In other words, you're gonna have an uneven coating of rub. All right, we got our ribs seasoned up. It's time to go on our grill. They're going on the side where the charcoal is not. Take our lid. We got our damper all the way open on top of our grill lid. The temp I'm looking for here is somewhere around 250 to 275. Keep cooking. This is gonna be about 3 to 4 hours, depending on the thickness of the rib. Now it's time for us to get our sauce ready for our ribs. It's a pretty simple recipe, but it's great. It's awesome with pork, not just the ribs, it's good with pork butts. First thing is, main ingredient is our ketchup. And I always like to run all my sauces through a blender. The reason for that, it emulsifies it, blends it all together very well. We got our apple cider vinegar. It's gonna give our tang, which you gotta have that tang. Molasses. We got our Worcestershire. Gotta have our honey. Dark brown sugar, onion powder, garlic powder, of course salt, our paprika here for color. It's gonna give it a little orange tinge to it. Bring it up slow, but you don't want it to jump out the top of the lid and get it all over your kitchen. So we'll take it and we're gonna heat it up. You don't have to bring it to a boil, bring it to a simmer. And I forgot my black pepper. Can you believe I done that? Well, guess what, folks? I'm gonna do the same thing you would have to do at home if you did that. I gotta whisk it all in there. Because you gotta have your black pepper. You gotta have some heat. The way I tell when ribs are done, I like to take my meat thermometer and I insert it in between two bones in the middle of the rack. When it reaches 207 degrees, they're done. Now you gotta be careful and don't touch a bone when you are probing. Give you a false reading. Apply with good clean strokes. You want them to look pretty. Make sure you get those edges. Just like painting a house. Take pride in your work. And there we go. Now, we're gonna put the lid back on. 8 minutes, we'll be ready to take them in the kitchen. All right, we got our ribs off the grill. They've set the sauce for 8 minutes. It's time to cut them up. Doing a 4-bone cut holds heat better, holds moisture better, and you're gonna get a warm, hot bite. Whereas if we're on a cool day, windy day, this looks good, but it's liable to cool down on you and you have a cold bite. And we don't want a cold rib. Ain't that good? They'll probably think I'm, what a barbecue alien cooked this, because they're out of this world. For the recipes and how to cook the best barbecue, click the link below.